What a fun little night. There was plenty of points and fairly close games in the end, with the Cowboys getting up 38-32 over the Dragons. And there was some suspect defense there for a good portion of that game. And then the Eels getting the win over the Broncos was very impressive. And I think they've had a pretty good month actually as well. And very, very tough losses for the Broncos and also the Roosters there. Just really gettable games and really important in their seasons to get the spots they want. For the Roosters to try and push into that 8, and for the Broncos to get closer to that top 4, but just kind of looking more and more closer to securing sort of a home final in that bottom 4 of the 8 there. So bad losses there for both those guys. Tom Dearden just absolutely killing it the last 3 games, a couple of high 60s into the 93, and I'm still trying to work out how that basically game winner, he went in untouched, just like ran around them. I know he's a gun, but he's not the quickest. He's a top half speedster, and he's he works hard. But for him to run around like 3 defenders and go untouched in the corner was ridiculous, and it just shows his skill obviously. But 93 for him, a double, try assist, 37 tackles as well to go along with the 180 run meters. He was just making line breaks for fun, forced dropout as well. And you can see so far, like I was saying last night, out of all the games, like Harry Grant's kind of been the highest owned player that's gone over 55. Like for Payne Haas to have the warm up and the game that he ended up with a 55, just shows how low it is right now for scores this week in the higher percentage owned players. So if you've got a lot of guys sort of in that 40 to 50 range, a couple of 30s, Lee Katoa's, the Jerome Hughes, these types of guys, you're actually not too far off the pace. It's not like people have come out and absolutely brained it. So that's a good thing with this. And Dearden would have been a terrific pick a couple of weeks ago. When Clifford went down, it just meant that he was going to be way more in charge with the kick meters. You can see here only 234 with Drinkwater 197. But it was more of a running game for him this one. And other weeks it's been the 500 kick meters and just doing everything. So he has been a good play, and you could look at him next week. The run's pretty decent for the Cows, and I think he should continue to go pretty well, like you saw, but more like in that sort of 50 odd range, probably 55 or so average for the season at 60k, whatever he's going to be. So a little bit under what you'll probably pay for. Little with a double, Clemmer 60 and 58. He had a real tough start to the game. We sort of saw there, and last week was pretty good, and came out and finished off this one well with a try assist and a couple of offloads and a turnover tackle, and end up with no sort of errors or missed tackles, so you can't complain there. But Robson, really good game for him, I thought. And then Cotter, 65 minutes for his 52. Both those guys sitting in sort of the low 40s price point and improving from there. Along with Bateman. Sloan with a double and a try saver as well, turnover tackle. Good on you, Tyrell Sloan. Drinkwater 48. So this one here for him to go, I was watching this one, and then I think there was 4 minutes left. I think someone scored, and I was like, all right, I'll go make dinner. And he was on 16, and then I looked, and they'd scored another 2 tries, and he'd got a line break before that, and then he got the try off Dearden, then he got the try assist late, and he was on 46 and a half time. I was like, oh, sad. I was looking, he's the highest owned player that I don't have. So when he's on 16, I was like, this is pretty good against the Dragons. We'll take that. 46 and a half time, 48 to end the game is absolutely wild. Thankfully, it's a good enough score to take if you're looping at his price point, again, above where he's priced. But you 100% hope for more in that second half. But it was the Dearden show and some weird sort of tries, like that one late on for Jackson Purdue near the end there. And those types of tries were coming. And then the Dragons went on a bit of a run as well. And when there's 70 points in the game, there will be some time standing behind the sticks for both teams and players there. So 48, a little bit frustrating from where he was at, but he also scored 30 points in 4 minutes. So that is the, as Matty T was saying, that's the Drinkwater ride. You guys, you were worried and annoyed at halftime, but this is what he does, and that's completely fair. Neem, 61 minutes as well. Luciano Leilua, we had Laybart with the try. The boys are trying. The young boys are trying. We had Hamish Stewart back in action, 42 for him. DeBellin, 40 and 31. There was a play there where he just didn't even move a muscle, and Laybart just went straight through the middle. So maybe that's why he got the less minutes in this one. else we got? Cookie, 37 for him in 60. So pretty rough base stats, which is probably going to be the problem with the 70-point game out there. 28 tackles, 2 misses. Even to have an offload and a turnover tackle to just get 37, that's when you know that the base stats are low there. So a pretty tough one for Cookie, and yeah, he's going to sit, as I've been saying, that between this sort of 30, I said 38, but 37 apparently, and the 60 range if things go well attacking wise. And the last few weeks it's been more in that 38, 37 to 45 range. And yeah, week to week you'll be able to get a decent score out of him. It's kind of a safer score somewhere in that range, most likely 37 to sort of 48, 50, with the odd game that's better. So a safe enough cover. Like if someone gets 25 and you're like, yeah, Cook should easily eclipse that. So that's where he's at right now in this part of the season. King Tonga with the 37. So if you had to play him, or if you're just chilling with him, there's going to be games where he has decent little setup, and that ball, the kick he put through, and then that short flat ball, face ball there across to his left winger was really impressive as well, I thought. So yeah, warming into the task. And the Dragons, they're not defending very well, but their attack has something in it, even though it was against the Cowboys' terrible defense. And then Jackson Purgey got that line break try late with good run meters there. So I think he was sitting at 16 or 17 before that. So pretty rough. Not exactly what you want at all, but it's probably what we're expecting from him at the moment, just with the team being pretty awful and conceding a lot of tries. He's going to spend plenty of time behind the sticks, and he needs attacking stats and the boys to be firing. And probably the small problem is how good Dearden's been on the right-hand side. So the ball is going that way a lot. Now for the Broncos Eels, you can see here, very, very terrible fantasy game. A fair few plays in that mid to high 40s and 50. But yeah, the high score of 59. I think Reynolds was 46 and a half time with his runaway try. God, that was good viewing. He made it in the end. The quick 30-40 head start, and then I think Penasini was trying to catch him. But yeah, good try there. Shout out to him on that one. But yeah, the boys couldn't get the job done, which is incredible considering the quality that they have on paper and where they should be at. Reece Walsh, the rocks and diamonds man, the offside man. Man, I couldn't believe that Josh Papali'i ended up dropping that, and it was like he was trying to scoop it up, and he looked up to try and go for a run. So I'm very thankful for him at his young age that didn't sort of derail a loss. A win they should have had. And Walsh, he was offside, but I just couldn't believe it. I was like, just dive on the ball, dude. Just dive on the ball. But yeah, it wasn't to be. But Payne Haas is a big one in here. 55 for him, 49 minutes. And I was off after that game. I just went off and was doing some things at home, and then came back to sort of the start of it there. And apparently he'd gone off for an extra massage. Wasn't feeling right. And that was a problem. As soon as I heard that, it was after the game. So I don't know if I would have changed my mind, but my sort of theory with Haas at this price point was that he got that extra week rest, that week and a half or so, and he'd be able to come back pretty fit and ready to go. For him to go off for an extra massage pre-game doesn't sound great, and then it played out pretty well exactly how we would have thought, for someone coming in that's just not feeling great. 55 and 49 is how he does it, PPM wise, but yeah, that was the frustrating one. And there's not many people in the top 1,000 that didn't jump on. So I think he's about 95% owned now. So that part's fine. And there were 20, 21, 22% that captained him. So 55 in the end. Thankfully, you'll take in that 49 minutes after 26 and 28. Came on for that last 21 minutes and scored pretty well. But then we had a bit of an issue with his ankle at the end. Looked like he stepped on Charlie Garmer's foot, rolled it. And there was a lot of back and forth. Fizz was a bit worried about where he had the ice, but then, Walters comes out and goes, "Oh, his body's just been a bit temperamental lately, dude. We're asking about his ankle, not his back." But that was a frustrating answer. But they came out a little bit later and seemed to think that it was just a rolled ankle and he'll be fine. So there are some worries about it still, but don't change your team and your plans for this news. I think you just wait most likely, and hopefully he's okay based on what we've seen so far. But guys like Hughes, you can definitely change potential trades and different things around that if you like there. So Haas 55, not the end of the world, but not amazing. He did outdo Carrigan in 20 less minutes, so 50 for him in 68, 44 tackles, the 4 misses and the penalty. So he did slow down a little bit because he was given he was near 40 in 45 minutes, and then kind of slowed down and didn't get a lot of runs and different things like that. It was more through a lot of the other guys. So that part was frustrating, but scored close to where he's priced at in this one. And he'll have bigger games where he goes into the 60s and stuff, like if he just continued the PPM he was at. So he'll be fine. Still a decent buy. Lomax, 52 for him, a very impressive effort there. With the 2 tries, he tried to, I think, go up for a couple, within like a 5-minute period, a couple of bombs, and he went to catch it, just went straight through his hands, so copped a few negatives there. And then he had Walsh with the 50 in this one, so he had the line break, the try assist for him. Actually, was pretty low for a good portion of this game, and kind of collected a few stats throughout, and ended up with a goal as well, so there you go. 182 run meters, a 216 kick meters, a forced dropout. Collecting across the board, which is a good thing with him. To not have too many attacking stats and log a 50, I think is pretty decent signs, even though it was a bit all over the shop throughout the game. Hopgood's 49 in 64 minutes. That's back-to-back 63 and 64-minute games for him, and the score is a bit boring at 49. The PPM that we've seen him go at, but really it was just that the 2 tackle breaks replaced by 2 penalties and no offloads and the rest that really made his game. So he's someone at a decent price that you could have a crack at that should score near 50, but do the minutes change? The last 2 it's been great, but does it go back and revert to what it has been throughout the season? Jordan Ricky's 49, you had Penasini, Williams, Charlie Guymer at 423. I mentioned him as a decent buy and didn't get any attack this week, but did all in his base stats. So 54 in the pure base there with tackles and runs, and then that few missed tackles there. So he's still a really solid guy. I think that can hit you a 45. Seems like he's got this spot for now, but we do have Kelma Tuolangi to have a think about as well. But I think Guymer, why wouldn't you keep giving him a shot? He's been playing great. He's a more consistent player. So it's more just like, do we think that he keeps that spot over Kelma now? Or does Kelma go the other side? Or however it works when he comes back and Williams goes back through the middle? There's a few things to think about. Josh Papali, he ended up with a 38. Thankfully, that error didn't count for him, but I thought he was electric. He looked great running the footy. He had that sort of line break early, 3 or 4 tackle breaks in the first run, I think, that he had, or close to it. So that was awesome. And if you bought him at 230, this is a much better position for him at the back rather than 5'8". So happy days with that one there, and will still continue to be a cash down next week for those that probably have, you'd imagine, have to be sort of 7, 8 plus. Me, I'm sitting at 7. I'm kind of like, I don't think I need to, or have the room to downgrade at this point. So it's just going to be replacements or upgrades through the mid to higher range guys. So but a really solid 38 from him. Shiba with a 34, Willison down to 41 minutes, Jensen 31 as well, Mitch Moses 27. So him with a 45 average. It'll be interesting to see how he finishes the year, and if we can get him at a sort of 500 or 600k mark next year. That could be pretty fun in a team that's looking to grow and improve on this season. But 747 kick meters for 24 points, and did have a try assist as well, but that's basically where he ended up. So a good kicking display, but outside of that, not too much for Moses. Got him around the park and helped them win, I suppose. That's the main thing for them in this one. They've been devoid of many wins this year, and that was helpful. You had Piakura 23, Karapani 21. So Karapani's a guy that you can stick with now, but if you have any cash available, he's in that same boat as Latu Fainu there and King Tongya. So there's that. Riley Smith at 21 in 43. So minutes wise will be somewhere here now, and I think if you can upgrade at that price point, there's a few guys around him at Tanner Boyd and all the rest that I would definitely go to in that one. And then Talon De Silva 8 in 37 minutes for him. So just didn't really move, which is really bad. Like 37 minutes for 16 tackles, 5 misses. He attempted 21. Did have an offload to ground there in 27 meters. So not the cash down that people were hoping for. And Joash is definitely the guy in this side. He's just not getting enough minutes. And those bench hookers, they just don't seem to work really well. And then Dean Hawkins a 6 in this one. And Jesse Arthur's the 15. So bringing his season average down back to where it always is after that hot start. So we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for this one. I'm off to do some coaching. Hope that, it was a couple of fun games for you. And we've got 3 today, which will be cool. Warriors and Titans, so a few interesting plays there. The Panthers and the People's captain, Nathan Cleary, up against my captain, Terrell May. And then Bunnies and the Sharkies there. So go Nico Hines in that one. Go Isaiah Yeo. And not Dylan Edwards, apparently. So leave it there, guys. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one.